topic. I have a little helper here today. This is my son Parker. He's 9. Everyone say hi.
Hi, Parker.
And this kid loves Plexus because he has grown up in it. And I love what this company does for our kids, for our families, for generations. And so I'm going to ask you guys, who here wants to vision cast and dream big with me for 2023?
Woo!
Okay, awesome, you guys. I was expecting like 1 or 2 responses, but you guys are like here for it. Okay, so vision casting is something that I am super passionate about because I have seen how much it has changed my life. All of these things, you guys, that you see up on these dream boards, these were just dreams. They were just visions, and now those things have become a reality. So you might be sitting there saying, oh, well, Megan, it's so easy for you to dream big because you're a diamond. Of course you can dream big. Of course you can do that. But you guys, I became a diamond not because it was easy, but because I dared to dream bigger. And so I want to bring you guys in on that journey of daring to dream big. But first, I want to take you guys back a little bit. I want you guys to picture a mom of 2 small kids, ages 3 and 6 months. She is exhausted. She's not sleeping because she has a baby. And she has 0 work experience. At the time, her kids are on Medicaid because her husband unexpectedly lost his job when she was 20 weeks pregnant, and she never ever wanted to work. Okay, she also made fun of Plexus and said she would never do it. Did that for about over a year, and she finally ordered the products. And when she did, it took her 5 months to find 3 people. Now, I know you guys are all sitting there thinking, I bet she's going to go Emerald of the Year. I bet that girl is going to double rank Sapphire and Diamond one day. I bet you guys are all thinking that. You're picturing it. You're like, I found my rock star. It took her 5 months to find 3 people. She's got it. She has no work experience. She never, well, unless you count the 6 months that she worked as a barista in college. Besides that, she has nothing. She said when she married her husband, not made for a 9 to 5. I'm never going to work. Okay? Literally, she said that crazy girl. And you guys, that girl was me. That was me at the beginning of my journey. This vision board that you see over here, that's my very first one. This is 5 to 6 years old. Okay? So it's been a progression of things throughout the years. And so when I found those first 3 people, I had people who believed in me. I had people who believed in me enough to say, hey, you really need to go to convention. I don't know about you guys, but you're probably not knocking down the door of the person on your team who took 5 months to find 3 people to fight for them to come to convention. Okay, but I had people like that. I had people like Jennifer. I had people like Alita who said, Megan, you have to come. You have to be here. Mind you, it was a week before convention. I also had a nursing baby, and again, our kids are on Medicaid. Oh, and on top of that, we had $100,000 in student loan debt. So like we were in a really not great situation at this point. And so I told my husband, I said, like, I think I gotta go, right? Also, mind you, I was scheduled for another convention. I canceled that. And I decided to go. I just had this feeling. Have you ever just had that feeling? You're like, I think I just need to go for this. And so we booked a flight out to Vegas. That was one of the first scary things that I ever did. I took my nursing baby with me. I wore him in the baby carrier the whole time. I flew out there to Vegas. I shared a room with 3 other people. Me, Alita, and Lisa, and Latoya. She was my bed buddy. I was co-sleeping at the time. It was a wild ride, you guys. I was up at 3:45 every morning because my kid was on the East Coast time and we were out in Vegas. And when I was at convention, that's when I started to dream again. I caught the vision for what Plexus could be. I remember standing there in the back, had my baby, bouncing, all you mamas with the babies, I feel you. That was me at like every event. And so I had him back there, and I remember watching the top earners on stage, and I remember hearing them talk about how they had less than 200 friends on Facebook, and this one was introverted, and all of these reasons and things that you would think, oh, they couldn't be successful, and they were at the top. And I realized there was nothing different between them and me, and that if they could do this, I could do this too. And so I sat there and I made my first little dream board. It was just a picture of an emerald, and it said Convention 2018. And I had no idea how I was going to become emerald in a year, but I told everyone, I said, this is it. I'm going to come back 1 year from today, and I'm going to walk across that stage as an emerald. And you guys, I did it, okay? And it's one of those things that, thank you. And it's one of those things that you would be amazed at what you could do if you just put your mind to it. If you just decided that you could do it. You guys, I was not successful the day that I hit emerald. I was successful the day that I decided I was going to run after it.
That's right.
Because all you have to do, you have to decide that you are going to jump, and you can grow your wings on the way down. The how is always going to follow that decision. When you say, I am going to do this, when you draw your line in the sand, it is incredible what you will be capable of. And I'm going to explain to you just like real quick how amazing our brains were. I mean, how amazing was Christy's story about her brain healing? I mean, our brains are so powerful, and we barely ever tap into the full potential of what that could be. So, have you guys ever heard the phrase, what you focus on expands? Right? Okay, we hear it a lot in the personal growth world, but I want to explain to you why this actually works, okay? So in our brains, I'm not going to get super sciencey on you, just hang with me here. I'm going to use one big word, well, three, okay? So we have this thing in our brain, it is called the reticular activating system, okay? We're going to call it RAS for short. And its job is to filter out the unimportant information, right? At any given moment, we can have over 2 million bits of information coming at us, right? Have you ever been in a room with like kids? I have 3 small boys. It gets loud real fast, okay? They're touching you, they're pulling on you. There's so many things coming at us at any given moment. Well, could you imagine if all of that was coming into your brain at one time, right? So this part of our brain, the RAS, it protects us. And so it filters out that unimportant information. Now you might be wondering, well, how does your brain know what is important? Your brain knows what is important based on what you think about the most. So whatever you are telling your brain all the time, those thoughts that you are choosing to dwell on, the ones that you're not shutting the door on, the ones that you're inviting in like she talked about, you're thinking about that, your brain is saying that is really important. So I'm going to start showing you all of the reasons why that is true. So if you are filling your mind with negativity and all the doubts and all the fears, your brain's going to be like, well, here, this is why you can't do it, and here's why you can't do it, and here's why you can't do it. But if you choose to be proactive and intentional with your thoughts, if you choose to dream big and you visualize these things every day, your brain is going to start to say, this is really important. And then all of a sudden, these opportunities that have been around you always, you start to see them. It's just like when you get a new car. Okay, have you ever gotten a new car and all of a sudden you're like, wow, everyone is driving that car. It's the craziest thing. Or you get pregnant, you start seeing pregnant people everywhere. You have a baby, you're like, gosh, everyone's having babies. It's not that those things weren't there before, but your eyes are open to them, and your brain is filtering that in and is saying these things are important. This is why visualization matters. Mindset matters, and it is so important. But taking a few minutes every single day to visualize your dreams, to visualize what is possible, how many of you have ever felt like that is a waste of time? Just be honest. Okay, only a few of you. I guess everyone in here visualizes every day and you're like, top notch today. Okay, so it's one of those things. If you are a go-getter, which most of you are, that's why you're here, you want to make a difference, you want to go after your dreams, you feel like sitting there thinking about something intentionally for a few minutes every day is just going to be a waste of your time. But I can assure you that it is not, because everything that we do in life, it's all after a feeling. We're either doing things because there's a feeling that we want to experience, or there is a feeling that we're trying to avoid. All of these things that are on this board, it's not about the things, right? It's not about going to Hawaii. It's not about the fancy cars. It's not about the trips, but it's about the feeling that you're going after. You have to be able to feel those things before you can experience it. You have to first experience those things in your mind before you can experience it in reality. Right? We are not just living our lives, we are actually creating them. So your thoughts are so important and your thoughts matter. But if you can't take a few minutes every single day to visualize and actually picture it, those things are not going to happen. That is some of the most important things that you guys can do every single day, is to pause and to visualize your dreams. Get emotional about it. If you can attach that emotion to it, guys, everything that's on these boards that you see over here, like us moving out to Tennessee, which was one of our dreams, right? We moved out there 2 years ago. We paid off $100,000 of student loan debt in 15 months because of Plexus. We just cash flowed a pool. There's so many things. Do you guys want to talk about visualization? When our kids were on Medicaid, this is going to make me emotional. When our kids were on Medicaid, my husband purchased a URL that said Medicaid to Millions. And he said, one day we are going to write a book because this is not always going to be our situation. And we believe it so much that to this day we have a date, 2026, that we say we will reach that goal and this book will be written. You guys, because I have seen time and time again that the things that you visualize, it matters and it can come to fruition. So if you're hearing all of these things and you're like, okay, well, where do I start with my mindset? Like, all of that sounds great. I love seeing those pictures. That's good for you. But how do I actually make that happen? Wake up every day with gratitude. You guys, wake up every single day thankful and grateful, because when you fill your heart with that positivity and that gratitude, it's really hard to complain and come up with excuses. So start off every single day before you do anything and be grateful. Find things to be grateful for. Intentionally seek it out. The next thing is spend some time visualizing. Sit there. And for some of you, 3 minutes might seem like a lifetime. But I promise you, it can be learned, and you can learn to calm your mind down. And so I want you to take some time every single day and to visualize those things that you want to experience. Where do you see your life in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years from now? If you're like, I just can't even see myself as a jewel, or I can't see myself as a diamond or a double diamond, well, if you can't see it first, it's not going to happen in reality. So you need to do the difficult work of sitting there and thinking about it in your mind first. Conquer that battle, and you will be amazed at the things that you can do. So wake up with gratitude. Spend some time visualizing, and spend 10 to 20 minutes every day pouring into yourself with personal growth, reading books, podcasts, all of those different things. You guys start doing those 3 things, and it will drastically change your life. And I want you guys to know, at the end of this, I want you to know and to believe that your dreams are possible. That's something that I learned at convention. Les Brown was the speaker that very first year that I went, and he was amazing. And that was one of the things that he taught us. He said, you don't have to believe 100% without a shadow of a doubt that you're going to accomplish all of the things that are on your dream board, but you have to believe that it is possible. And when you start to believe that it is possible, you start to have hope. And when you have hope, you start to do things different. You start to behave differently. You start taking more risks. You start taking more chances. And you start to celebrate those wins along the way. And so I want to go ahead and I want to walk you guys along a little vision casting exercise. So we're going to play a little bit of music. And I want everyone to go ahead and I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to just take a step back from your day-to-day thinking. I want you to take a deep breath. I want you to think just outside of your situation, right? I want you to just zoom out for a second. I want you to get a bigger picture. It is so easy for us to just go into survival mode and to settle for where we're at because it is comfortable. And because it's what we've always known. It's not easier, right? It's not easier to stay in that same place, but it's what we're used to. So I want to challenge you guys to break free of that way of thinking, to break free of what is comfortable for you. You guys, life is too short. We are made to live on purpose. We are made to live on purpose. And so I want you guys, as you're closing your eyes, right? I want you guys to think about what would your life look like if time and money were no object? What would you go after if you knew that anything was possible? I want you to allow yourself to start to dream. I want you to think about what you would go after if you knew that you could do it. What goals and dreams are inside of your heart? I want you to open yourself up to that, and I want you to let yourself go to a place that maybe you have never gone before. And I want you to attach emotion to it. I want you to feel, what would it feel like to accomplish those things? What would it feel like to be able to take your family on that vacation that you want? Would it feel like to be able to give like you've never given before? I want you to think about, what is that ripple effect that's going to happen when you decide to go after your dreams? What is that going to look like? Right? How are your kids' lives going to be changed because you decided to do something different? I want you to think about what that's going to feel like. I want you to think about what it is going to feel like when you do those things. What are those dreams that are awakened in your heart that you have never even let yourself get to? And when you go there to that space, and if you find yourself stopping and you find yourself thinking that these are impossible, this could never happen, right? If you feel like you're being blocked and you can't dream any bigger, I promise you that you can. I want you to remove all of those limitations that you've placed on yourself and know that we serve a God who can do the impossible. I want you to let yourself go to that space where you maybe have never dreamed before. And I want you to know that your past does not define you. What other people have said about you does not define you. I want you to know that your fears do not define you. You were made for a purpose, and you were made for so much more. I want you to know that you are an overcomer and that you will leave a legacy for your children and their children. I want you to know that you are loved and that you are strong and that you are brave and that you are capable of doing anything that you put your mind to. I want you to know that you are safe, that you are free to dream as big as you want to. I want you to just let yourself go to that space. Okay, I want you guys to open your eyes. And I want you to take those things that were in your heart, and I want you to write them down. I do not want this to just be an experience and a moment that you had one day on Super Saturday and then you never think about it again. Those dreams that you are thinking about, that life that you want to live, you can actually create that life, and I want you to believe that it is possible. I'm living proof of this. All of these things that were once just a vision on our dream board are now our reality. We are living into that, and every single time it's upgraded. You will accomplish those dreams, and then bigger dreams will come to mind. So I want you to take those dreams that you had today. I want you to go ahead and write them down. And I want you to spend time thinking about them. Maybe some of those dreams aren't something that's going to happen in the next year. Maybe it's in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. But if you start visualizing where you want to go, and you evaluate and you know where you're at now, you can create a roadmap. You can reverse engineer in order to make those dreams a reality. Those dreams then become your North Star. And you start asking yourself, and what I'm doing today getting me closer or farther away from my dreams? And those things that will bring you closer, you start doing those. You start saying yes to more of those things, and you start saying no to the things that are not going to get you closer. Because you're thinking about them, you're visualizing all of those things. And so I hope that you guys walk away today believing that your dreams are possible. So I want you guys to say with me on the count of 3, my dreams are possible. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
My dreams are possible.
Okay, and now it is my honor to introduce my dear friend, Jen Hawkins.